puts it in, but it's knocked away by Lexi Hall.
That was then. This is now.
They came, they saw, they conquered. That's exactly what the Indiana Fever did in tonight's playoff game. Best 2 out of 3. It was the third game out of the best 2 out of 3 game series. We just saw the Indiana Fever advance into the semifinals by eliminating the Atlanta Dream in tonight's game. Guys, this game had me on edge. And it just shows you, first of all, the Indiana Fever just truly displayed grit, toughness, perseverance, resiliency. Have you ever heard somebody compliment you and say like you're very resilient? You know what it means to be resilient, to be just so tough and just so headstrong, just so strong that you're just resilient. Right? That's exactly what the Indiana Fever was, guys, in tonight's game. Okay, right now I ain't gonna lie, I got the freaking Las Vegas versus Seattle game on. It's the second quarter. They're both tied at 21 and 21 points. I said, I got to talk about this game right now because it's still kind of somewhat fresh in my mind. The Atlanta Dream deserved this loss. Specifically how they acted in that fourth and final quarter, okay? But we're going to get there. We're going to get to what happened in a little bit. But first of all, the game starts off exciting. That's the thing. Indiana Fever is a young team. They are known for sprinting. They like to cut. Okay, you look at Lexi Hall. Look at Kelsey Mitchell, the ninja. Lexi Hall, but specifically Kelsey Mitchell, rather. Kelsey Mitchell, the woman that you are. You are half ninja, half Power Ranger. The way she cuts through that basket and just makes layups, there's no stopping her. Ask almost any player in the WNBA, they'll tell you themselves. That they say, hey, who's the hardest player to guard in the WNBA? They're like, Kelsey Mitchell. It's Kelsey. Kelsey Mitchell is very hard to guard. This game was very physical, okay? Of course, it's a playoff game. I was like, I wanted the refs to kind of like lay up off of them a little bit, right? Literally, like lay up off of them. Let them get a little, but I ain't gonna lie. It was some times during this game where it was kind of OD. Specifically in the third quarter where we see Aaliyah Boston kind of like she kind of like got her arm tangled up with, what's the girl name? Brianna Jones of the Atlanta Dream. She throws Brianna Jones to the ground. She gets a technical foul, okay? Or I believe, no. Did she get a technical? Yeah, I believe Aaliyah Boston got a technical, and they gave Brianna Jones they gave Brianna Jones a technical, and they gave Aaliyah Boston a flagrant foul, if I'm not mistaken, right? Because, again, I said this while I was watching the game. I said Brianna Jones knew better than to hook her arm into Aaliyah Boston. That's not a basketball move, okay? You can't do that. So she throws her down. We see everybody about to square it up. Ryan Howard's like, F, what's wrong with you? To Aaliyah Boston. It was getting real. Okay, Odyssey Sims was getting thrown around. Jordan Canada, she was sacrificing her body so much. Shout out to Jordan Canada, by the way, guys. Jordan Canada of the Atlanta Dream. She's like a smaller Kelsey Mitchell. Kelsey Mitchell is about 5'8". Jordan Canada is 5'6". Jordan Canada had no issue sacrificing her body, her frame, her health, trying to cut to the basket and put up some layups. Okay, she was excellent at that. Atlanta Dream overall only had one really, really well quarter, which was the second quarter is when they actually outscored Fever by like a lot, by 9 points. But in the third and fourth quarter, we kept seeing them get tied, but then eventually we see the Atlanta Dream get in front and ahead of the Indiana Fever. And you can tell like the Indiana Fever was just getting so frustrated. They were very frustrated, but what had happened was the freaking Atlanta Dream just started being goofy. Started making all types of goofy and silly mistakes. They kept throwing the ball out of bounds. They had miscommunication, problems. When who was it? Brianna Jones tried to pass the ball to Ryan Howard for her to make a three. She was on the sideline to the left side of the basket to make a three-pointer. It goes out of bounds. Jordan Canada dribbling the ball off of her foot out of bounds. It was just so many silly mistakes. And Carl Smesco refused to call a timeout to actually get them into the game to actually help his players out. And then, like that ain't bad enough. Again, Lexi Hall, she comes into the clutch. She's just so aggressive. Okay, remember the girl? She had the 2 black eyes. She had the raccoon eyes, and then she had the busted lip just last week. Again, they displayed that resiliency, that strength, and that grit, and that power, that toughness, right? We see Lexi Hall steal the ball, okay, in that inbound pass. They had Alicia Gray. It was either Alicia Gray, I'm sorry, guys. It was either Alicia Gray or Ryan Howard in the fourth and final quarter. It's just like a couple seconds left on the freaking clock, right? They need a 3. Lexi Hall steals the ball and takes off with it, right? And then they had a reset timeout, right? They put some more time on the clock. They had a reset. They did an inbound pass. They need a three. We see Tahina Pow get entered into the game. I'm like, okay, perfect. She's probably going to make a three for them. Wrong. These fools give the inbound pass to Brianna Jones. Now, wait a minute. Brianna Jones has cooking up, okay? She has gotten a lot better for the Atlanta Dream. She's been doing things that she was not doing up there in Connecticut when she played underneath Stephanie White for the Connecticut Sun, okay? She was not making threes like that. But when we really needed Brianna Jones to make a three, she bricked it, okay? And that was game. They lost by 2 points, okay? The game concluded with Atlanta Dreams loss at 85 points and Indiana Fever's win at 87 points, guys. For the first time in years, we have just now witnessed history. We just saw Indiana Fever advance to the semifinals. You know what? They deserved it. Again, in the first quarter, we see the Fever score 29 points. Dream scored 27. The second quarter comes around. Fever scored 20. The Dream scored 29. The third quarter, Fever scored 20. Dream scored 17. And in the fourth and final quarter, the Fever scored 18. Dream scores 12. Now, looking at the individual player statistics, let's start with the Fever, the winners. Lexi Hall had 10 points, 2 assists, 2 rebounds. Natasha Howard had 12 points, 3 assists, 6 rebounds. Aaliyah Boston had 14 points, 6 assists, 12 rebounds. Odyssey Sims had 16 points, 8 assists, 2 rebounds. Kelsey Mitchell, again, Kelsey Mitchell is a powerhouse on her own. She's like the mitochondria. You know, mitochondria is the powerhouse of a cell. We need to start calling Kelsey Mitchell Kelsey Mitochondria, okay? Because she's just so energetic, it don't make no sense. She had 24 points, 1 assist, 2 rebounds. Ariel Powers had 4 points, 1 assist, 0 rebounds. Shea Petty had 3 points, 1 assist, 0 rebounds. Michaela Timpson had 2 points, 0 assists, 5 rebounds. And Brianna Turner had 2 points, 2 assists, and 5 rebounds. Now let's talk about the Atlanta Dream. Nas Hillman had 9 points, 1 assist, 10 rebounds. Ryan Howard had 16 points, 3 assists, 3 rebounds. Brianna Jones had 12 points, 4 assists, 7 rebounds. Alicia Gray had 19 points, 1 assist, 12 rebounds. Jordan Canada, oh Canada, she had 18 points, 10 assists, 3 rebounds. Brittany Griner had 5 points, 1 assist, 0 rebounds. And Tahina Pow had 6 points, 1 assist, and 3 rebounds. Now, when it comes to the overall team stats for rebounds, the Dream had 39, Fever had 34. The Dream had 21 assists, Fever had 24. Dream had 3 steals, Fever had 7. Dream had 4 blocks, Fever had 3. The Dream had 13 turnovers for teams, and Fever actually only had 6 turnovers. They had a drastic cut down. They had a lot of discipline in this game. When it comes to field goal percentages made, Fever had 41.6%, whereas Atlanta Dream had 50%. For 3-point percentage, Fever was at 27.3% accuracy. Dream was at 26.1%. Everybody was struggling in tonight's game to make threes. No tea, no shade. When it comes to free throw percentages, Fever had 70.8% accuracy compared to the Dream's 45.5% accuracy. Again, shout out to the Indiana Fever. This was well deserved, okay? They did their thing. They deserved this. They banged out, period, point blank. They had that grit. Again, they showed that resiliency. They showed true strength. And they are now advancing to the semifinals. I wonder who they will play in the semifinals. Again, I believe it's either between, of course, Seattle Storm or the Las Vegas Aces. Again, I'm watching this game right now, right before they go into a timeout, and we shall see. Fever just turned Atlanta's dreams into a nightmare.